What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to That's Delivered, the podcast that talks about all things trucking and beyond. I'm your host, Trucking Ray. And a few weeks back, I was at Barnes and Nobles and I ran into a great individual. Had a real conversation I did not plan for. But turns out the guy is an entrepreneur and he's making big strides out here in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area. And wanted to have him on the show. He has his own podcast that he was doing, The Next Great Mind. Now he also has another company that he's working on to make some changes and also to make some new innovation for the world to see. And we can't wait to see what he has in store. Now, a lot of things start with trucking. You got to put things on the truck to get going, but also the entrepreneur mindset, the vision, the discipline that you have to have nowadays, the long term thinking. That's what we're bringing here today as our guest is all about that. Zachariah Copeland. Glad to have him on the show. Zachariah, glad to have you on the show, my man. How you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. So should I look
Nice.
at my computer camera or look at you?
Yeah, you can look right at me.
Okay, cool, awesome, awesome. I don't want to be cockeyed out here. Oh, what's good?
It's okay. We like cockeyed too. Yeah, we take everybody.
All
So
right.
yeah, man. Thank you so much for being on the show, man. I'm glad to have you and tell your story. I think it's great that we have a lot of people out there that are ambitious, doing things to help the community right here locally. So who are you, and why should drivers care about what you got planned here? You just a lot of great things you're involved in.
Man, really, I don't really think I'm anybody, to be honest with you. I'm just a hardworking individual. That's at my core. I went to the University of Tennessee at Martin. Um, didn't graduate with a high GPA. Started working for like $14, $15. It might have been $12 at Dell on a Boeing contract. So I was hustling back then, staying in the studio apartment. And then, just kind of worked my way up through the IT ranks. Um, so, but that's just the work side. At my heart, I'm really a community oriented guy. If I see someone in trouble, I'll try to do the best I can. I don't always donate to, you go to McDonald's or you go to Staples or whatever. They'll say, do you want to donate? I don't always do that, but if there's a homeless person and I'm able to feed them and we're able to have a real conversation and, maybe I could cheer them up and they definitely impart some wisdom on me about to keep going. And, we'll chop it up and we'll do that. So that's really at my heart for me. Everything work is work. No, I don't have wife and kids, so I don't have that going on. But right now it's just work and building the community.
That's amazing, and that's a lot of reasons why we have this podcast, not just trucking, but like all the people that get supported by the industry as well. And you're going to school. I mean, software engineer. Is that right?
No, 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 no. I would like to be a software engineer. Because I mean, a lot of people know that's a great profession. Right now, my official title is a knock analyst one at the University of Wisconsin in Madison. Making the big bucks, making the big bucks.
There you go. Yeah.
but I've always wanted to be a software engineer coming out of UT, but I just never really had the right opportunity. So just got to keep grinding and see what opportunities come available. But at the time, I was no just to be honest with you, I built my company out of frustration because I just didn't see the opportunities there available for me, and I was just like, okay, well, I could just keep waiting around, or I just do my own thing. So I decided to do my own thing, and now the opportunities are coming. You know how that
Nice.
goes. you
Yeah.
know. So I can quit the company and go to the opportunities, or I can go to the company and quit the opportunity. So I'm just gonna do everything. So about the podcast, so I kind of scaled that back a little bit so I can kind of focus my resources on these couple of things I have going. I didn't want to spread myself too thin.
Nice. I mean, from one podcaster to another, man, it takes a lot of ambition to do what you're doing. A lot of people out there listening are drivers, owner operators, small fleet owners. I'm sure they started out doing one thing, maybe had to end up doing another. So you got to change. You got to be able to pivot.
Yes.
So yeah, I like that you have another dream of being a software engineer. I know there's a lot of software out there that needs to be done with AI, and autonomous trucks are coming, and so they're going to need people out there to build these things and make them user friendly, make them
Intuitive,
adaptable.
very
Yeah,
intuitive.
absolutely. So when you realize you aren't chasing a paycheck, but trying to build something that actually matters, I think that's really where the change happens.
Amen.
So what keeps you consistent and keep you motivated for your mind? You know, when your mindset,
Sleep.
what's some of the things that sleep?
Yes. I struggle with sleep coming out of college. If I go to the doctor, they'll probably diagnose me with insomnia. And so I something I work on constantly. I'm actually going to see a sleep doctor on the 13th because right now I'm taking sleep medications and that's fine, but I don't want to do that for like until I'm 50 because we all know that these medications they there's going to be some side effects. There's going to be some side effects. So right
Definitely.
now, I'm not experiencing anything. I'm 37. I'm not experiencing anything, but that's not to say that 10, 15 years down the line I won't experience something. You know, whatever it may be. I
Yeah,
don't. I could do a whole bunch of research, but then I would take time. I would take time away from my stuff I'm doing. So you
there
know,
you go. Yeah,
sorry about that.
there's a lot of truckers that are taking in medication. You know, there's sleep apnea is huge, insomnia is huge. So a lot of truckers out there can relate to that, even if you're not pushing the big rig. So, if you had to explain your work ethic to a room full of truckers, how would you describe it?
Insane, um, insane. Now I haven't gone. I haven't gone like 3 days without sleep, but the most I've probably done is probably two, um, or at least in a 3 day span. Probably I probably got about 12 hours. And that's not to say that oh, you stay awake because you could stay awake, but you could be unproductive. you know,
Mm,
so that doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying, like, I attribute, like, to me, I have, there's a couple things you do. You could either do focus work or you could do like kind of semi work and kind of spread it out over intervals or whatever. This kind of depends on what you want to do. I kind of do a little bit of both. It depends on, I just kind of depend on how I'm feeling. If I want to spend an hour or two doing focus work, no distractions, then I'll do that. Or if I want to kind of like have my phone on, music or whatever, and then vibe out while I'm doing work, then I'll do that. So and I gotta say, shout out to my uncle Eugene Johnson. He really helped me develop my work ethic. He's a pastor in Madison, Wisconsin, the Madison Pentecostal Assembly, and he let me stay with him for like 6 months, 6 to 8 months, and I really got to see his work ethic in terms of his church. Obviously, he had other stuff going on. He actually worked for the state of Wisconsin, so I got to see that. Well, he retired by the time I stayed with him, but in terms of just like reading, being a voracious reader, which I think is important because that's a part of learning. If we don't read, we can't increase our knowledge on things, whether it's an article online or whether it's a book, whether you consume it through Audible, you know,
nice.
just keep getting information. So that's a part of the work ethic. Um, Being a constant learner. A lot of kids nowadays that think, oh, okay, I went to school, got my 4-year degree, now I'm chilling. Well, in the IT world, you're going to become obsolete because the IT world moves, it moves, it moves, it moves, it moves.
Yeah.
So if you're not constantly learning, you're going to be behind, and you're not probably won't have a job.
Mm. Yeah. You
So
don't want. Yeah. So, as a visionary shaping the minds of the new individuals coming in, I mean, you're talking a lot about that, the tech, the culture, your purpose and conviction. How do you personally define the great mind? Because that was also
yeah,
one of the reasons why you did your podcast.
yeah.
How would you describe that?
Man, that was, and when I read that question you sent me, I was like, man, that's tough, man. Because like that's to me that's a subjective question because like
Mm,
everybody has their own definition.
mm,
So to answer
yeah.
it introspectively, to me, I define the great mind. You got to have a high IQ. Like that goes along with it. You got to have a high IQ. Now you can have that doesn't mean you have the high IQ in engineering or whatever, you could have a high IQ in design. You could have a
Mm.
high IQ in painting. You know,
How do you
The-
find that out?
good question. Me
Maybe
personally,
discipline. Yeah, like consistency.
discipline, but also too, like if you get a lot of people saying, "Hey, your work is good. You
Mm.
need to put this out there to the world." I would say that's outward validation,
Mm.
and you can go off that.
Yeah, I got a friend of mine that does really well with numbers and learning about the stock market and investments and things like that. I think now he wants to learn more about options. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot out there that you can dabble in and see. Hey, is that something I'm good
Now,
at?
now, your friend, is it a hobby, or does he really want to? That's the thing. People have interest, but to take it to that next level, you could tell them, "Hey, you should do this," but they won't really take it serious until it flips.
Mm. Yeah, it's a hobby.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Well, then
yeah.
that's also good too, because that hobby could become something serious. He
Wow.
just, like you said, it just, if he sticks with it, and he doesn't have to. If he has a family, he doesn't have to put in 20 hours a day, 20 hours a week. Just consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a book that I didn't finish called Atomic Habits. One thing that stuck out to me is um it was talking about just being consistent. And so, say for example, you want to lose weight or build muscle, and you're tired from work, or you're tired from having a family life or whatever. Go to the gym. 5 minutes.
Mm.
5 minutes.
I like the body bag,
Do
punching
the
the
body
weights.
bag. Do the body bag
Yeah.
for 5 minutes. Get that out. Boom. Next day, you got 15 more minutes. Boom. Do 15 more minutes. Boom. Next day, you got 30 minutes. Boom. Do 30 minutes. Boom. That's consistency.
Mm. So why didn't you finish the book?
Because I saw it on Instagram. That's why.
Because there's a lot of books I don't finish. I'll start out and I love the intro, and then I get lost in the body.
Yeah.
Um,
So my friend told me, a little tidbit, my friend told me that may be boredom, and you got to push through that.
all
You
right,
got to push through.
all right.
I got to push through that myself. I got all these books I got to finish.
Yeah, that's how we met at the Barnes and Noble.
Yeah,
He was doing it, man. People buying books left and right. Bookstores are doing well.
yeah. We just got to keep grinding, because there's a lot of pages.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn in a short period of time. Life goes
Yeah,
by so fast.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, think about that. Is for a lot of people out there that want to learn something, they get started doing something right out of high school, and then they say, you know what, man, I wish I knew what I know now because I would do something different.
yeah,
So yeah, there's a lot of truck drivers out there that got a lot of time on their hands, and they can listen to audible books and they can learn things. So maybe there's a second wave, that a second thing that they're gonna be able to do. So
Can I make a prediction for the truckers?
yeah.
I believe so. With trucking, I don't know much about the business, but I know from what we talked about, and so with automation and all that, obviously we have self-driving truck drivers, and then there's safety regulations and all that. So are you guys experiencing the layoffs right now? Because it's good. Every sector is going to experience layoffs, but then we're going to come a time where those who have upskilled are going to, and who have adapted to the change, are going to be able to pivot into the sector. Has that happened, or what's going on?
Yeah, we definitely can see it. There's a lot of automation. If it's not just in the truck factor, it's in the building that gives us the goods. So, like self-driving forklifts. Saw a video about that the other day, where they're got a bunch of forklifts, and so some CDL holders have a experience driving forklift,
Okay.
and so they load the trucks and things. They may not drive, but they work in the warehouse. So maybe they got to revisit going back into the truck. There's a lot of things that, like you said, you got to expand your mind and make it stretch to see what the possibilities of what you'll be able to do.
Yeah.
Because, like you
Definitely.
said, maybe your company is one that's going to be investing in some new changes, and you're just like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Do I just get Upset? Well, you don't get a lot done when you're upset. So a lot of people out there worked hard to get to where they're at to be a truck driver.
Exactly.
And then now you got this coming. You're like, what's going on?
Exactly, exactly. And it's
Yeah.
like I spent 4 years in college just to have my job automated. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So, but this is a part of life, man.
Yeah. What's your take on that? How
Actually,
do you
that's
feel about
that's
that?
another thing you mentioned. You mentioned like what gets me these changes that gets me going. I like challenges.
Mm.
I like to challenge myself. I took computer science courses at UT Martin, and I failed. Oh, I couldn't tell you how many I failed, but eventually I had to pivot because I had to get out with a degree. And so um, I just that taught me now at a certain point you can only take so many hits, and so you got to say, okay, I got to pivot. So that's what I pivoted. But what it told me is I do like challenges, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think taking on challenges is a bad thing, but you do have to learn how to pivot.
So mindset, adversity, wealth. I mean, we think about this is a great month to think about Black history and where we come from, and where we're going. So I watched a couple of your episodes that stood out where you let people, behind, you don't let them hide behind clean answers. Um,
You saw that.
yeah,
I like the real man. Don't
yeah,
sugarcoat me.
nice. Don't sugarcoat you. Yeah. So what do you say for truckers who deal with a lot of adversities daily? They got the weather, you got breakdown. There's time you're away from home. A lot of folks, they make a decent amount of money, but they also feel like they're being left behind because they're constantly just stuck in that truck. What's one of the biggest misconceptions people have about wealth? What would you say?
Oh, so, man, I was hoping you asked me about the truckers, but you pivoted to wealth. Okay, so
Yeah, mix them together. I mean, they're
okay,
building wealth for themselves. Maybe they got a pension. Maybe they got a
so
401k.
so to answer a little bit about because I really wanted to touch on that. I think having a support system is important.
Mm,
When we're in that foxhole by yourself, whether you have a friend, whether you have a wife, a husband, children, whatever you got, I think having me personally is my church. They're a great support system. My uncle, my cousins, I have a good support system around me. I think that's important. So that was kind of like that answer pivoted to the wealth part. So what people get wrong about wealth is, hmm, I think a lot of people think it's easy.
mm,
I think a lot of people think like even for gifted people, they think it's easy. Well, you got a high IQ, or you got connections, or daddy's paying your tuition. Uh, all of these could be true, or none of them could be true.
mm.
You know, I think at the end of the day is like Kobe, like Jordan, like Tiger Woods. Nobody escapes hard work. Nobody.
Yeah,
So I don't
mm,
care how gifted you are. You're not finna escape the hard work. So
yeah. That's
that's
a lot of companies. They just want people to show up. It's crazy how that is a huge requirement. That if we just hope that you show up on time, and put in that hard work, that dedication, that sets you above the rest right there. And they can work with the rest. They can try to train you and help you learn new things, and you can continue to build that wealth for yourself. When I think of wealth, I think of maybe you get some real estate, but first of all, I think investing. I think a lot of people get it backwards. They think real estate, they think of business, but just learning to invest in something that's tangible, like the stock market, a 401k for yourself, that goes a long ways. I
it
think
does.
that's the starter, and a
I
lot of people think that's the boring one.
Yeah, I have an Acorns account. So shout out to Acorns that do automatic investing. I've kind of fallen off because I had other expenditures. But man, 20 like we just talked about Atomic Habits, $20 here,
Mm,
$30. It goes a long way. Trust me.
yeah, it does. And
Compound interest.
yeah, the compound interest doesn't work until you have something in there.
Yeah.
It can't compound itself. So yeah, I think if you can get to $100,000, then you really start making some traction. But before that, it feels like you're not doing a whole lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep trying. Don't give up. Move on to the next thing. Stay positive. Yeah, for sure. Is that what works for you in the mindset there for yourself, also personally?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I gotta be honest with you, man. I'm probably one of the most positive people you're ever gonna meet in your life. Um, and I say that with confidence.
Nice.
uh, so, you know, I don't know where I got it from, but just having a positive mindset. Now, that's not to say I don't have days where I'm like, I may want to cuss somebody out,
Hmm.
but it comes and goes.
Yeah.
So I think also too this whole wave about emotional intelligence. I don't really consider it a wave. I think that's the thing. I think emotional intelligence is big. I read this. I read another book I didn't finish. Is emotional intelligence better than having a high IQ? I
Mm.
think it is because if you don't know how to manage your emotions, you're going to be a detriment to your family. You're going to be a detriment to your coworkers. You're going to be a detriment to your roommates. You're going to be a detriment to your church community. You're just going to be a detriment. And so we got to learn how to manage our emotions.
Yeah, because you can be easily manipulated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people like to exploit people. They like to prey on your emotions and get you worked up about certain topics. They may be important. It may be something valid, but how much do you want to let it control you? You know,
Thank you. Thank you.
they control your controllables is what I heard.
Control your controllables.
Yeah.
Can I write that down really quick? Man, control your controllables. Okay.
Yeah, because some things are just out of our control. Um, so, what was the other one we want to talk about? Is if you had a place to build one simple piece of tech to make a driver's life easy. I wanted to throw you a random one like that.
Okay.
What would you do? What would you do to make driver's life easy? Maybe it's some tech that you.
Yeah, I would say so I just took a lift today to Menards and
Hmm.
the streets were kind of crazy. I
Yeah.
think you guys deal with that a lot. I
Okay.
think 'cause there's budgets with cities and all that other stuff. And so I think you guys deal with that a lot. So I would create some tech that would say, "Hey, we got a pothole coming up. We got this coming up. We got something coming up to so you guys can pivot." Like,
Man,
hey,
I like that. Yeah, a little heads up.
yeah, yeah. So that's what I
Wow.
would do.
Especially sinkholes, huh? I think
Sinkholes,
sinkholes are worse than
a,
potholes.
a, a tight curve. You know, and I already know Google's probably already working on that. They have a little bit of that, but it could always be better.
That sounds terrible. But there's a lot of piles, especially in the wintertime up here, man. Those snowplows, they really make them. So, how would you innovate without losing the human or safety side of work? Um, sometimes people forget about the human factor or the safety side of it, that it could be a little bit dangerous.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Um, Working with humans is an intrinsic part of my personality. Like, I know we got AI, but I really value the ingenuity of humans. Um, AI can do a lot of stuff, but there's nothing like a human touch to a product. I followed Steve Jobs a lot when he came up, ostensibly in his career. And even though he was an a-hole at times, from what I've heard, um, he knew how to make a good product. Um, he spent some time in India, on drugs or whatever, and some say that could helped him, think creatively. But uh, what's funny? I'm just talking,
No, I like it. Keep
but
going.
but you know, uh, I think that's just a part of who I am because
Mhm.
so that's not going to be for everybody. Some people would be like, well, I can have AI do 20 people's jobs.
Mm,
Okay, go do it. You know,
yeah.
Me personally, I may want to work with 5 people, maybe build an automated system, and then want to work with 2 offshore people.
Mm,
So now, in terms of safety, when we built that product, everybody's going to have their own mindset. So everybody's going to have their own thought process. So it's as a leader, a CTO or a CEO or whatever, it's up to me to say, hey, this is not a safe product, because you're gonna if you build something fast, you're sacrificing safety, and you're sacrificing a good making a good product. But if you take too long, then you may miss deadlines.
Mm. I like
So
that. Yeah, you got to be careful. So that goes into the next segment: purpose, discipline, and legacy. The great mind. You did a lot of great work about the next great mind. For a lot of drivers out there, they're struggling with isolation, burnout. Purpose is what keeps people steady when the road gets long. What's the cost of living without purpose? What would you say?
it's everything.
Hmm.
It is everything, because if you don't have purpose, you don't have anything to keep you going. I think we touched on that. If you have kids, that's going to keep you going. If you have a wife, a husband, that's going to keep you going. If you have the work, if you just want to be a workaholic, that's going to keep you going,
Mm.
because you're like, man, I love working,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna keep doing it. I think a lot of the greats, competitively, they were constantly workaholics. But some of them like Kobe, for example, I think he was a family man, which is great. I really valued that. Did he do everything perfectly? No, but I think he understood the value of family. So, and that's something that I hope to make sure I keep in the forefront of my mind. I look at my uncle, as I mentioned before. He's been with one woman I mean, prior to getting married. I mean, yeah. Well, as he got married, he's been with one woman since he got married. And so me seeing that, even if I wasn't like, I didn't see all the fights or all the conflict resolutions. They're married. you
Yeah.
know, they have kids, they have a successful church. So that tells me that can be done.
So commitment is that
Commitment.
pretty
Yes.
rare nowadays? It seems
That's
like.
very rare,
Yeah.
very rare, especially for my generation. And it's only going down. It's only going down.
What's that like for you?
It's scary. It's scary. But
You just got to stay positive.
stay positive. There you go.
Yeah.
Stay positive.
And do things to fight back, like speak out about it, like you're doing right now, so that other people know they're not alone. And so, how do you personally define discipline? Is it freedom or restriction?
Both. You have the freedom to restrict yourself.
Mm.
So you have the freedom to say, hey, I'm not gonna eat a box of chocolates every single day. you know. And I probably say that because I last year I was like three, oh not three, I was like 275. I'm down to today. I weigh myself like 227. So I was happy about my progress.
Yeah, congratulations.
Because
Yeah, that's huge.
yeah, because that's another part of it. If we're not able to stay healthy, we're gonna clock out.
Mm.
So that goes along with truck driving, because you're sitting for hours and hours on end.
Right.
It's just like IT. We're sitting on hours and hours on end. So we gotta watch what we're putting in our bodies. Like right now, I'm drinking water. You know,
Mm.
drink a lot of water. Try to cut down on sweets. Try to cut down on a lot of processed foods and whatnot. So pivoting back to your question, is it freedom or restriction? I think it's a little bit of both, because it's your freedom to restrict yourself or not restrict yourself.
There you go. So another question I wanted to get your opinion on is, what does a legacy actually mean when you go beyond money and recognition?
Um, I think it's building something you're proud of, um, whether it's a company, whether it's foundation, whether it's family. Saying, "Hey, I'm proud of my two boys; they got honor roll. I'm proud of my daughter; she's a kickboxing champion." you know,
Yeah.
So whatever it is, those are things to be proud of. I'm proud of my brother. Like I have a brother who's handicapped. I love him to death. You know, not able to talk to him as much as I want to, but I'm proud that he's still here with me. You know, he's had his own troubles, and so I'm proud that he's still here with me. He's always on my mind. So
Yeah, that's what's up. I got a brother as well. He's older than me. I'm the youngest, and it's nice to know that I have someone else here in the world that understands me. So yeah, I mean that's huge. Family is great. May go through hard times together, but in the end, you only get one. Um, the
yeah.
ones you don't really choose them either. So
You want to fight it? Have you and your brother fought before?
we didn't do too much actually. We did pretty good. Yeah,
Okay, okay, that's
yeah,
nice. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Me and my brother had a couple fights. We had a couple fights, but he's hella. He's not. He's older now, but back in the day, man, that dude had some grown man strength at like 20, 21 years old, man. God dog.
Wow. Whew. Wow, yeah. So that's good. People help you find your boundaries, help you understand where the respect needs to be, like say for safety and stuff. Well, yeah, it's strength. You can hurt somebody. So, so what belief do you have to unlearn to grow? What belief did you hold on to, and you say, you know what, I gotta let that go?
I don't know. I don't think I'm there yet. Like with this company, I started doing everything, and and I now have a business partner, employee named Marquise Young, who's also a pastor. So he's the CFO, and so I had to let that go.
Mm,
Now, I'm probably going to be CTO for a little while, but there's going to come a time where I'm going to have to be like, okay, I got to let this go.
yeah.
So I think it comes with discernment. It comes with practicality. Um, yeah, discernment and practicality definitely for me. Um, and and nobody can tell you when to let go except yourself, really.
Mm.
You know, yeah,
All
nobody can
right.
tell you.
So is that Zach Gideon Systems Incorporated?
It is, it is, it
All
is.
right. Yeah. So look those guys up and check them out, see what's going on there. So for someone who's listening who feels invisible and not seen or, but they show up every day, I'm sure, as a company owner, you're trying to see individuals and look at their qualities. What would you want them to hear right now?
You say look at the qualities. Are you talking about just as a person or for hiring?
Yeah. All the above. Yeah. It's
Okay.
just, to go unseen. Maybe it's something that they've been trying to reach out towards and they're trying to get it done. But there's met with
I think
adversity.
I think the first thing. So there's two parts to that question. There's a what they're doing and in terms of how to get hired. I think they got to look at why they're doing what they're doing.
Mhm.
Are they doing it just for the money, or are they doing it because they really love it, or are they doing it because someone told them to, or are they doing it because they saw a commercial on the algorithm?
Mm. That's a
So
lot.
there's a lot, and then the other thing is to get hired, uh, you just got to make yourself valuable. Really, that's what I'm doing right now. I had to scale back on some things. Like I just mentioned, I had to scale back on the podcast to focus on some things, but I'm working on my resume. Yeah, even as a CTO, I'm working on my resume.
Mhm.
Um, I'm working on the company's resume. So what does that mean? That means the brand. I'm working on the company brand. I want my company to be a brand that says we're about community. We don't. Sorry, I got a little emotional because I've seen this in my career.
Mhm.
We don't discard people. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
some people.
Yeah, it's rough.
I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna get emotional. We're gonna move on.
Yeah. And
That's a tough subject. That's a tough subject for me.
okay.
That's a
Makes
tough
sense.
subject.
Yeah, I mean, you try your hardest, and then you kind of met with a lot of adversity, and people try to say, "Hey, you should be doing it this way," and you're trying to do it that way.
Or you're not good enough,
Right, or you're not good enough. And
or you're worthless.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen that. I've
Mhm.
seen people. A lot of people discard people because they think they have no economic value,
Mm.
and that hurts the community.
Ah, nicely said. Yeah, I like that. You said it nice and simple for people to get, and instead of like you said, takes the emotion out of it. You hit it right at nail on the head there, man. Nobody should feel that way.
Yeah,
So we all have something we can contribute. And
exactly,
with a lot of
exactly.
the changes with technology and everything, they're great and exciting, but we want to be careful. We're not discarding people and just creating voids for people to feel worthless. So if we can add that value, I think it's a win. So
Hey man, I like you. I like you, Ray. I like you.
thank you. Yeah, man, that's all what it's all about is we can find that common ground with everyone. We may see things differently, but if we can come together for something, and we're going to be able to deliver something great. And that's why I started this podcast is to get that out there for a lot of people to see, a lot
Yeah.
of people to hear that in their ear that hey, you're not alone out here. No matter what you're doing, even if you're not driving the truck, you're contributing in some way. So appreciate that, man.
Now, I
Goes both
appreciate
ways.
you doing this in Minneapolis, man. Right now, we've had a lot of trouble with Trump and ICE and this, that, and the other, but people like you, man, that are doing it and putting the city on, like you have a lot of episodes out, man.
Oh,
I
thank
didn't
you.
look at subscribers. I didn't look at any of that. I just said this dude's putting in work. I want to be a part of that. Can I
All
be a
right.
part of that?
You're trying to get me now, huh? You are a part of it. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, no matter what side of the aisle you're on or what you believe, if we come together and find something that we can agree on, I think we'll go to a better place. Like you said, the city has been through a lot, so
Yeah,
but that's something we can agree
yeah,
on. I think no matter where you're from and what you do, that's you can just turn on TV and yeah, Minnesota's popping up. So
yeah, yeah.
so where can they find you? Where do you want people to look for you if they want to learn more about what the great things you're doing and give support?
So right now, my website is down. I'll get that back up when I get that back up. But you can go to gideonsys.ai. So that'll be back up soon. Um, you
Can't
can
wait.
find me. You can look me up on University of Wisconsin.
How
I'm
about LinkedIn?
on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn,
There you
I'm
go.
on LinkedIn. So Zachariah Copeland, ZechariahCopeland. Look me up. I'm the one with. I forgot. I changed my picture. I may be doing this.
There you go. Gotta have fun
I
with it,
was
right?
saying something important. I was saying
Yeah.
something important.
Nice.
So yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like that
Uh,
platform. I think it's a good platform for professionals to come together
yeah,
and see each other's strengths. So nice.
exactly.
All right. Well, to end it up, this episode, I think is a great episode. We get this put out for people to listen to. Big thanks to you, Zachariah. Man, appreciate you guys doing all that hard work over there yourself too for the city. You're putting on a lot of great work. So putting in that hard work that you need that you mentioned. You can't substitute it. Can't substitute it.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
All right. So for the if
Appreciate you,
anyone,
Ray, man. And
you got it.
whatever
You're
you're doing,
welcome.
keep going.
Thank you. All right, appreciate it. For if anyone at home likes what they see, like what they hear, please give a shout out to us. Bring support, subscribe in any way you can, or leave a review. If you have a question you want us to bring on the show, be sure to do so. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're thinking of anything long term, big shout out to Zach Gideon Systems. Reach out to those guys, give the support that they need. I'm glad to have them on the show. And from me to Truck and Ray, thanks for listening. And that's delivered.
God bless y'all.